To game number 2 between Insidious Idol and Titan. I am Mr. Blackadder for HeflaTV, and joining me for game 2, finally a game 2 today, is Coach Jaw.
Yes, yes indeed, man. I'm so happy that we're actually having a game 2. Finally, a full series. Plus, if Titan wins this, possibly a third game straight after to have a tiebreaker to see who actually advances as first, who as second. If the teams are up for it, of course, since it's already midnight for them, so who knows if they want to play today.
Who knows indeed, but I don't know about you. I would be game for a third game. I really could be after what we've had to deal with today, but as we stand, going into this game, we have Faceless Void banned out, we have Shadow Shaman taken away, Lycan kicked out, as well as the Doom. This does, of course, leave Brewmaster, as well as a Tinker.
Well, Tinker last time around actually was completely ignored, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, it was completely ignored, not picked or banned, and you know how refreshing that is?
Oh man, yes I do. I do indeed. So Insidious Idol, well, Razor first pick, not too surprising at all, Titan. Possibly Brewmaster, Skywrath Mage, something along those lines.
I think Brewmaster Skywrath Mage could be an option here.
I mean, I guess there are multiple choices at the moment. Maybe Titan like to go for something a little bit different. Actually, Death Prophet is also available, which I completely overlooked, to be honest. But I would be a little bit surprised if Death Prophet didn't get picked. If Titan not themselves, then Insidious Idol as the second one. But Skywrath Mage Invoker to begin with.
I'm liking the Invoker. I seriously am feeling an Invoker game today. If we can get a good Invoker game, I will be very happy. We're looking for Sunstrikes, we're looking for Carnage, but now we need something to pair with this Razor. What do you think we're going to see?
I still think Death Prophet, possibly. Just such a strong hero.
The Nature's Prophet or the Death Prophet, either or, I think, would fit this one. I mean, both make a lot of sense in this draft. And as we stand, I think for Insidious Idol, we're going to see Chaos with the Nature's Prophet again as the second pick. It would not surprise me at all. And we're in the reserve time now, but I think we're going to see Razor, Nature's Prophet. I wouldn't be surprised for Insidious Idol to see the Zeus once again, actually, considering it worked for them tenfold in the first game. And Zeus is pretty damn decent against Skywrath and Invoker, because you've got to consider they're both relatively low health targets. And if they could be the aggressors in the game once more, it will add up. But it's the other one. It's the Death Prophet instead. So looking for tower push of a different sort this time around. Now, with a Death Prophet and a Razor, you're going to have to start thinking about, we need to defend our towers. How do we defend our towers against those two? We need to take fights away from the towers is how we do it. So we want to brawl with something that can fight against it. A Tide wouldn't go amiss. Earthshaker can work. Elder Titan can even work, especially considering its percentage damage with his Earth Splitter. It's a big impact hero, though, that we're looking for. Something that can just nail Insidious before they get on target at a tower. And Insidious are starting to think, yeah, let's take out the heroes that can do that. They're going to take away the Centaur Warrunner. That makes a completely good amount of sense in this one. Hoof Stomp Double Edge. If that's on target on the Death Prophet and the Razor, that stops a push on a tower, hands down. Especially when they're backed up by the rest of the potential lineup for Titan here, considering Invoker, Chaos Meteor, Tornadoes, EMPs, Hell on Earth, as well as the, well, Ion Cannon potential of a Skywrath Mage. But Enigma will be banned out by Titan. They don't want to risk the Black Hole, and I can completely understand that. Those big impact heroes are being removed across the board for both sides at this point, and that's a very wise one in my mind. But, of course, Tinker is still available.
Yeah, I mean, in Serious Idol, I think they're like maybe Tidehunter who can actually excellently fight when they're coming for a push. Just pop the Ravage. Last game didn't really feel the impact at all, but it, in theory, definitely is there. But if you're going for a pushing lineup, actually banning out an Earthshaker instead. I thought like Tinker or Tide, but Tide got banned out in the end anyway. Titan themselves going for a Nature's Prophet. So some global potential. Sprout into Mystic Flare into Sunstrike, for example, is possible.
I'm expecting a Ohio Nature's Prophet on this one. We've seen him play it to great effect in previous games. And honestly, you mentioned it. You said it correctly. You got Sprout into Sunstrike and Mystic Flare. That's going to absolutely destroy any hero that gets caught by it. I mean, Death Prophet, sure, she's tanky, can't stand against that. They're going to need BKBs for Insidious Idol, hands down. But other heroes that come to mind right now, support-wise for Insidious Idol, a Rubik would not go amiss, considering Nullfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice to just have that extra magic resistance if need be. And 20% of it definitely would be just excellent, especially if somebody even builds a pipe for your team. At the moment in Insidious Idol, they do need a potential offlaner, maybe a solo safe laner if they want to go for an aggressive tri-lane. Which you can quite easily go for Razor plus 2 heroes, even something like a Mirana, Shadow Demon wouldn't be too bad. Shadow Demon also for the defensive purposes against the Mystic Flares.
I would completely agree. I mean, anything to defend against the Mystic Flare is going to be very good. I mean, even Astral Imprisonment defensively from an OD can do the job, but Disruption is top of the list. I should think Shadow Demon and Earthshaker could... No, Earthshaker's banned out in this one. Shadow Demon certainly combined with maybe a Dazzle in that case, because you also have the potential to save someone's life with a Shallow Grave. Dazzle as well as Shadow Demon is an incredibly powerful combo. There's your Shadow Demon, your first defensive support. And are we looking for the potential of a Dazzle here? Shadow Demon Dazzle. Disruption into the Shadow Wave heal. That does a large amount of damage to the disrupted target if it's an enemy. Not only that, you have the Shallow Grave, as we mentioned, and Weave. More negative armor or plus armor for the enemy team or your team. It adds up. But Titan will opt for that Sand Kick, looking for those big epicenters. And if we can get an epicenter that can destroy a Shadow Demon and a Death Prophet, that's going to be quite scary for Titan.
Yeah, to be honest, I think one of the best ways to try to deal with a Death Prophet is just to burst him down. So just to limit the duration of the exorcism that way. And before he gets a BKB, he is extremely weak. And actually a Juggernaut pick for Insidious Idol. I was toying with the idea of Tusk as well, but Juggernaut just as good. Also sustain the pushes with the healing ward, as well as you take a fight, somebody's low, pop the healing ward, they're going to be just fine once you reach the tower.
Percentage-based healing, biggest favour for Juggernaut in this game. I mean, the healing ward is such a powerful thing.
So at the moment, I mean, I do still like Titan's Sand King pickup. The epicenter is just so great at defending towers overall. I mean, any Blink hero with the initiation power is hard to push into. But, man, in Insidious Idol, I really like what they have brought so far.
So do I. I completely agree. And I was looking for a Tusk as well. We've seen some incredible Tusk play today, and I'm actually very partial to a little bit of Tusk in a game, because you get to see the big snowball combinations that we've seen so far today. But Juggernaut, potentially my favourite hero. Remind me to show you at some point my collection of Juggernaut items. But looking to hack slash, chop, and omni slash. So Juggernaut can certainly do some work. But is this a support Juggernaut? Because we've seen support Juggernaut a lot more than a core Juggernaut in recent weeks.
Well, I would think so at the moment, since, or maybe they want to send like Razor solo safe, have Juggernaut Shadow Demon +1 aggressive, but I'm expecting it to be a support one. Although they don't actually have too many slows or stuns. Yes, they have the disruption for the Juggernaut to get in place. And well, speaking of the lack of slows and stuns, well, slows don't matter anyway, but Weaver is picked up. The only thing that can potentially harm him at the moment is the Death Prophet Silence.
And of course Disruption, but we're looking for something that can do a good amount of stun in my mind for Insidious Idol. They need something that can deliver on that front, and with Tide and Earthshaker banned out, Elder Titan maybe to an extent, not one of the best ones though. Other heroes that really come to mind in terms of stun that can deliver that big AoE? Do any spring to mind for you? Because the only one that I'm considering right now is Alchemist because of the negative armor bonus.
Well, I mean, at the moment, something that would also fit their lineup, it's going to be extremely hard since they do lack the offlaner. I guess still Razor, Shadow Demon, Juggernaut could be an aggressive tri-lane as well, but not too sure how potent it would be, especially if it should be up against a Weaver who can just escape with Sukuchi. So they go for a Batrider. That's going to be their initiation power, I guess, then. And it is definitely something good to try to lock down the Weaver.
It'll help lock down the Weaver, yeah, but the big problem here is you're relying now on a Batrider effectively alone to carry the game in terms of stunning power. I mean, what other stuns do they have? Answer, none. You've got Lasso, you've got Sure, Sticky Napalm, slow to a nice extent, and then you've got Disruption. That's your control. That's it. They're going to need something to help lock down the Weaver, because a Weaver uncontested will completely shred Insidious Idol. And you've got to remember, Insidious Idol, they don't just have the damage potential of a Weaver and a Nature's Prophet. You've got Sunstrike to contend with, Epicenter, Mystic Flare.
This is actually really scary from Insidious Idol, or scary for themselves, that is, the lack of just lockdown they have. Since Batrider, yes, you will also have the Flame Break, but usually actually you don't get that until you're like level 8, 9, something like that. You actually don't have the mana to support it, nor actually do you want to put points into it anyway. Holy crap, man, this this is going to be such a good game for Weaver, I think, at the moment, unless it gets crushed early on when the Sokuchi's cooldown is still rather long. The same actually goes for Nature's Prophet, just TP out.
I'd be inclined. I think that's the only time they can actually kill the Weaver, the early game, because otherwise this Weaver's going to run amok. But let's quickly introduce the teams, shall we? For Insidious Idol, we've got Shagasaurus handling that Juggernaut. We've got Bethel on the Razor. We've got Ysera on the Death Prophet. Now over on the Batrider, we've got KS, and we have Z-Red on that Shadow Demon. And we could have some potential of a level 1 fight right now. Shagasaurus is lurking nearby. They could look to fight this one. It's all revealed by the ward here, but just take a look at how defensive the lineup are playing. And Mushi coming around the side here, he could be susceptible. He does have a level 1 Sakuchi, but everyone's going away. Mushi pinging out that Batrider, realizing they invaded the jungle. And it would not surprise me to see some D-wards come out in this vicinity just to defend.
Yeah, and for Titan then, for this potential last game of the day, it's going to be Mushi up on the Weaver in the safe lane with WTF supporting on the Skyriff Mage, leaving an Extinct to play the Sand King with KYXY once again in the mid lane, but this time on one of his signature heroes at least, the Invoker, leaving Ohio on the offlane Nature's Prophet.
I'm honestly going to say my money is on Titan. You've got KYXY on Invoker, for Christ's sake, and you've got Ohio on a Nature's Prophet. These are two signature heroes that we've seen from these two players in the recent months. And I'm going to just hands down say my money is on Titan. I mean, as much as I love seeing a Juggernaut and a Shadow Demon picked by Insidious Idol, I think they've been outdrafted in terms of lockdown and stun.
Yeah, I just don't think the Shadow Demon Juggernaut is the strongest of support combinations, especially up against what Insidious Idol has. WTF, he's pretty fast, base movement speed with Skyriff Mage. Extinct, if really necessary, he can use the Burrow Strike defensively, get through the trees or anything like that to escape the Blade Fury.
WTF could be in some trouble. DD plus 2 stacks of Napalm. This could be very heavily in his favor. One more right click could spell his doom, but KS will get stunned out. Now we get the offensive disruption coming in from Z-Red, as well as Shagasaurus being in. Now comes the Blade Flurry. Every bit of damage being poured onto Extinct, and there's no escaping that. KS picks up the first blood, and Mushi's now here as well. And this is going to be a try-v-try scenario. Tri-lane, potentially core Juggernaut, depending.
Well, I just have to say that KS's double damage did huge work there. And of course, the rotations from the support, excellent timing there. KS knew exactly when to go aggressive like that. And this is the second game in a row we witnessed Batrider First Blood. In different, completely different circumstances, but nonetheless, Batrider off to a good start.
Indeed, and if this Batrider can get early Blink Dagger, like we were saying in game number 1, it can be the thing that makes or breaks this game for Insidious. And I've not seen KS play the Batrider before. You may be more akin with it than I am, but how is his Batrider? Do you know?
No, I actually have not seen it at all. KS usually, when I've seen it for first departure, is actually the mid lane player for them. Just playing Ember Spirit and the like, so got no clue.
Fair enough. Well, it'll be an interesting one to see, certainly, but it is going to be a support Juggernaut. He's going to be rotating around, stacking the jungle up as much as possible, and then farming it with the Blade Flurry. So he's going to at least be getting some gold there. And I'm wondering what kind of item build we're going to expect out of the Juggernaut. Is it just going to be a case of, I'm going to try to get Aghanims as soon as possible, so I can do as much as possible with my ult in this support role?
Well, last time I believe Shagasaurus went for it, he was like, blink into Aghanims or something.
Blink? Okay.
Yeah, I
Blink
think he went for it. He was like... face boots, maybe went for drums as well, but it was definitely blink to just go around. Of course, they were up against the Tinker as well, so I actually wanted to get up closer for the Omnislash.
I can understand that. Blink against Tinker, certainly, considering how escapable Tinker is, but it's going to be an interesting game in this respect, because seeing a Juggernaut played in this style is going to be a learning curve, at least for me, but now you've got the Treants coming in once again to try to harass this potential pull-through, but Shagasaurus will continue farming this up as much as possible. Did you decide who you were betting on in this game?
Well, I mean, I like Titan's lineup better just because I think the answers to Weaver aren't too many at the moment for Insidious Idol. So that's just going to be their biggest weakness, I think.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can completely understand that. But from where we stand, if we take a quick look at these lanes, Death Prophet is completely destroying this middle lane. 16-2 up against the Invoker's 9-6. This is going to be a problem for KYXY if he can't get some momentum going. And it is going to be a double Forged Spirit Invoker, so we're looking for that potential pure damage out of Sunstrike as well. Another thing we're going to have to keep in mind. But from where we stand, that mid lane does favour the Death Prophet in these early few minutes at least. It's going to be a problem in my mind. It's a big one, considering you have to contend with the push power of a Death Prophet, as well as the Razor, who's also farming very well, 16-6, 17-6, second on the board. Large potential here for Insidious Idol, but I stress it is only potential.
Yeah, it's... I mean, if Insidious Idol, if they get their push going early enough, if the Batroid gets that fast blink there and can actually start setting up kills all the time, which didn't happen for Titan last game around, although I was completely expecting that to happen. So, a lot just has to do with the early momentum, as always in any game of Dota almost. Late game wise though, it's actually hard to say who has the clear advantage, because Death Prophet can still be a late game up, or a late game threat up to the really late stages of the game. It just all depends on what itemization the enemy goes for.
I'd completely agree to that one. And the Death Prophet can add a large amount of physical damage, especially with that Exorcism. You also have the Razor. Late game, he has a big force. But Juggernaut will fall off at some point, especially in the support role. He's not going to get as much gold as we would expect. And the thing I find curious here is take a look at Extinct. Lurking around level 1 on the Sand King. He's looking for an opportunity to try to get KS, but there will be no opportunity, no such fun. But we do get the TP, potentially threatened by the Nature's Prophet. He's going to hide in the tree line, and they're just going to push in with Ohio, and they're going to look for this tier 1. With Extinct there to be the threat, the Batrider cannot come forward. This is exactly what they need to do. Early towers take away the control from Insidious, especially around that Rosh Pit. The less control they have around the Rosh Pit, the better. And now we do get the concussive shot fly onto KS, but everyone's having to go through the fire for this. And we've already said about standing in the fire once, and we get the mass TPs to defend this. In comes Shagasaurus ready with that Juggernaut, as well as Z-Red on that Shadow Demon. But Mushi continuing to throw attacks into KS, but won't find anything. And Extinct in a lot of trouble, going to get caught, but he does burrow straight through. That's buying a little bit of time. But can Extinct survive? I don't think he can. He's got no TP. He can't escape this one, and down goes the Sand King. He did buy some time for his team, though, to all escape, because they were focusing on him so heavily.
Funny enough, to be honest, if he had just Sandstorm there, Shagasaurus, he didn't have enough mana for a Blade Fury, or wouldn't have had it for quite some time. So in theory, he could have wasted just a lot of time of Insidious Idols right there, Sandstorming, but of course, I guess in such a situation, he was like, I'll Burrow Strike through and try to escape. So, it's hard to really call those things. And in the end, I don't think it would have made a huge difference, since he would have died anyway. But just buying some time might make a small difference by the end. But mid lane KYXY actually has caught up somewhat, 27 and 8 now compared to 33 and 2. So just more points into Exort, more Forge Spirits, definitely help out.
Those Forge Spirits, he was racing the rune with his Forge Spirit versus Ysera, and it was a case of Ysera was almost there. He attacked the rune last second, wasting time again of Ysera, but more importantly, keeping that bottle empty, forcing the bottle crow. And I'm liking this kind of micro out of KYXY. It just plays so many games in the enemy's heads. I mean, controlling the runes of the Forge Spirits, controlling the lane with the Forge Spirits alone, that's a very strong aspect of the Invoker.
Yeah, it certainly is. And actually, it's really annoying to have that rune just denied straight from out of you. Or under you, just... You're like, okay, rune, nice, bottle refilled. Nope, it's not.
It's one of the best things to see. It's just shows the mark of knowing when to deny it. It wasted the maximum potential time of Ysera, and you've heard in so many interviews, Chinese players specifically say, try to be as efficient as possible. That includes most efficient in wasting the enemy's time. It is absolutely glorious to see. But from where we stand, we could have a potential brawl adding up here. Shagasaurus invading the enemy jungle, just dropping wards, but all the pings come out. Extinct, lurking nearby. Ohio is there as well, but he's going to go uphill. He could potentially get caught out of position here. He does get the Burrow Strike hit him, but in comes the Blade Throw. That's going to buy some time. The block is there, though, out of Extinct, at least a little bit. WTF equally there. The disruption onto WTF, that's going to buy time. Sunstrike's going to drop, though, and it will deliver. KYXY sends that one off. Z-Red going to just have to rotate away. That's a good kill going the way of KYXY, and good prediction as well.
Yeah, I actually thought that he's gonna go down to begin with, Shagasaurus, but once the Shadow Demon came in, disrupted up the fastest target, the Skyriff Mage, I thought, yeah, he's done for, but Sunstrike. Really nice snipe by KYXY, getting their team on the board as well here with the kills now. And Mushi all the time just keeps on farming bottom lane. I mean, 2.2k in the bank. What's his next item?
You got to consider what Insidious Idol can potentially threaten with here. And in terms of what spells a Linken's can mitigate, it stops Lasso, it stops Disruption. It's going to be a Linken Sphere in my mind. I mean, there's the ultimate orb, that pretty much confirms it. With a Linken Sphere, that Weaver will be nigh unkillable, especially if he goes Linken's Desolator and then potentially tanks up from there. If he really wanted to, he could get a BKB, but this is one of the times where I'll say a BKB in this case would be a game-losing item. He wouldn't gain enough from it. He can get more flat damage from a Desolator or an MKB.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you there, just... Linken's is gonna be probably just enough to deal with the Batrider. I mean, yes, if they really want to take an Omni Slash into it as well, but that's just as big of a loss pretty much. So I really like the Linken's choice at the moment for Weaver. Gives him some nice mana regeneration as well to just Sukuchi through, keep on farming up without actually having to back off all the way to base. And
I'd completely agree with that. It's one of the better items on him just for that regeneration, let alone the extra health. But sounds like it's going to drop on your Sarah, at least force him back a little bit.
Mushi's going for Shagasaurus actually. Oh man. Breath of Nature bounced through, actually got the last tick of it, or most likely because of the damage output of it. Oh wow, just Juggernaut did not expect this one coming.
No, nor did I. I was watching the mid lane just because of the threat of the Sunstrike and the push, but in comes Ohio, and speaking of push, it's going to be a case they want this bot lane tier 2, and if this goes down, that's going to open up Roshan quite heavily for Titan. This tower is the easiest tower for the Dire to get Roshan from. They'll TP here to defend, they'll TP here to get it, but equally, mid lane, could have a brawl going on. Ysera won't get caught by the Sunstrike, but it does not matter. Then again, defensive disruption comes through last second, going to buy a few seconds, but does not matter. The Sandstorm is more than enough to clean that one up. So another kill going the way of Titan. Equally, tier 2 tower on this bottom lane could potentially go down in favor of Titan as well. However, in comes the Razor, going to drop the Plasma Field and at least force back the Weaver.
Yeah, and actually now, Extinct, he is only 100 gold away from actually finishing up his Blink Dagger now. He's just waiting for the cooldown of Sandstorm, 5 more seconds to farm it up. And that's going to be a huge pickup. Of course, KS on the Batrider has his own. Mech is also finished up on Bethel's Razor. But Titan, they're just getting more and more farm. KYXY has had that Hand of Midas for some time and actually going for a mech again. He really loves the Invoker Midas into mech build.
I'd completely agree. The Invoker Midas into mech. I mean, the Midas gives you a large amount of level acceleration, and that level acceleration is the reason an Invoker will go for a Midas. It will let him get those points in Exhaust quicker, or, in all honesty, the point that he could get in Wex, just so he has access to Ghost Wall, so he has access to Meteor. But in comes that push mid lane. They're going to commit the Exorcism. Equally, though, you get Batrider forcing back Extinct. They don't really want to risk that one, zoned him out completely. And as the tower falls, it's a case of, do we see a push down this mid lane now? That, in my mind, could be the target, considering we have so long left on the Exorcism. Sieging the tier 2 this early, going to force everyone on Titan on the defensive. We don't have a Epicenter yet, I'll point out, for Extinct. He's had a very rough time with that. He's got a Blink Dagger, but no Epicenter. And just going to poke and prod, really, at those tier 2s. And that's really all Insidious Idol need to do. They are content with waiting a few minutes and then pushing once they've got more core items up. And speaking of core items, what do we have coming up in the foreseeable future? For Shagasaurus, he's going to get his phase boots. We've got Z-Red. He can just go for Arcanes. And now we get the Blink forward onto KYXY with that Batrider, and that's going to be more than enough to bring him down, you should think. But in comes a Burrow Strike. That's going to buy some time, but now we get the Ancient Seal drop, going to force the Batrider out, but that's too little too late in my mind, and Ysera is just going to soak up a lot of this damage. That fire is everywhere, and they can't get a counter kill. There's no way to respond to that one.
Yeah, I mean, 1-for-1 is definitely favoring Insidious Idol at the moment, but Mushi in the meantime, with the help of the Siege Creep as well as the Creep Wave, actually took down the tier 2, so limiting Roshan access now for Insidious Idol, especially if they start taking tier 1's mid as well. So Titan, they can just split push with the Niche Prophet, with Mushi as well, man. Weaver is actually an extremely strong split pusher. With that just Geminate attack of his, and he's only a recipe away from the Linken's already. Mech worked on KYXY as well, just needs the recipe for it.
Well, you can see Mushi just continuing to brawl and split push on his own. He almost brought down Shagasaurus. One more right click would have done it. And is Mushi going to try it? I don't think he is. He's just going to Saguchi away. I mean, we see Mushi playing that aggressively. Yes, he's a good split pusher on a Weaver, but Mushi is the kind of player that will happily brawl toe-to-toe with 2 players if he has to.
Well, looks like tier 1 tower is the target now for Titan. Ysera, he does have his Exorcism up. It's only level 1, but it still should be enough to actually take a proper fight. Omni Slash ready for Shagasaurus as well. Actually, they're keeping top lane already. Static Link was used. KS can actually get close enough to somebody. The slows are there, but nice Tornado from KYXY.
The Tornado completely buying time for the lineup of Titan to escape. I mean, if any of those got caught by the lasso, that could have been it. Especially with Shagasaurus nearby, with an Omni Slash and Bethel with that potential mech to heal up, they could just keep that momentum going. Speaking of momentum, this is going to go tunneling straight down. They're going to hit this tier 1 with force. If they can bring this tier 1 down, especially with the Batrider threatening to grab anyone, he's going to be playing very aggressive, dropping his fire all over the place, saying this is Batrider territory.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big threat.
What? KYXY got the deny with the Forge Spirits, are you kidding me?
Well, that's what KYXY does. Can micro those Forge Spirits better than anyone else I can think of at this point. And from where we sit, that's going to at least help Titan maintain control of this one. And we're a good 13 minutes in. Let's take a quick look at the graph, shall we?
They get the stun, the Mystic Flare, a Sunstrike as well, easy kill.
I say let's take a look at the graph, but it seems that Insidious Idol and Titan both disagree with me. So they lose the Death Prophet, actually. That's a pretty big hero with the investment of the Mystic Flare. But now let's look at the graphs. 1,500, nearly 2,000 gold the way of Titan. And experience-wise, nearly 500 experience. So it's starting.
Oh, that's so onto KYXY Omnislash as well, but the disruption, what? He actually disrupted the Omnislash already, just half of it. KYXY now, he's on the run. Nice defending blast, actually shred. He's gonna go down to the Force Spirit Chagasaurus. I think he's gonna fall as well. Force Spirits, oh, you need a few more right clicks. They can't actually chase down face. Oh, never mind, Sunstrike.
Sunstrike, however, catches it. There's no escape from that one. These guys are just being aggressive across the board. I look mid lane for a kill, they're fighting top. I look top, they're fighting mid. Speaking of mid, Mushi, tier 2 tower. He's pushing again. Just doing what Mushi does best. And with that fortification pop, that's 5 minutes where they can push freely with no threat of a fortification. So it would not surprise me to see Titan all turn their attention to this top tier 1. Slightly damaged, but it's easiest to target next.
Man, if you're ganking with 3 heroes, and 2 of those 3 die when you're only actually going on to 1 hero in return, you know something is actually pretty damn off for you. And of course, I still didn't understand the disruption. I'm not too sure if it actually prevented any Omnislash sticks or not, since level 1 Omnislash, it actually doesn't bounce all that much, but it certainly felt like it.
It only bounces 3 times. I mean, you get 6 with the upgrade from 2 to 3. Sorry, with 1 to 2. It doubles the effectiveness from between levels 1 and 2. It's quite a large jump. But from where we stand, it's a case of, with that glyph down, it's going to be an easy tier 1. And now we could see the pressure from Titan towards this mid tier 2. But equally, Roshan is on the cards here for Insidious Idol. With that exorcism down, they're going to try to bring it down. But it does not matter at this point, considering Mushi is here, throwing some good damage into KS, and we could just see a Saguchi through. They don't have any... Actually, they do have a sentry down, so that is at least going to help them out. But with that Mystic Flare, it's buying time. The Plasma Field as well, but in comes Ohio. He wants to finish up what he can, but in comes KS. Catches the last 2 onto Ohio. That's buying more time for Insidious Idol. And Roshan nearly falls, but it does not matter. They lose the Sand King. Buyback by the Batrider. They want to fight into this one, but equally Bethel, he's trying to do what he can. Stole some damage, but Deafening Blast comes through. The last Plasma Field will at least clean up the Skywrath Mage, but it does nothing. In the grand scheme of things, the mass buybacks come out and the fight will continue. Mushi will try to deal with the Sentry Ward, but die to the 5 stacks of the demonic poison that he had available, and it's going to be a case of Roshan is still the focus, and Insidious Idols will help themselves to an Aegis as well as the 1,000 gold. And I'm wondering where the answer is here for Titan. They just could not fight that one. They could not keep the sustain going. I don't think I even heard the mechanism popping either. It did go up in that fight, but I'm not sure how effective that actually was.
Yeah, I mean, KYX actually got a pretty decent enough mech off there, healing up. I think it was a Nature's Prophet that was dropping low at the same time. But all in all, both teams actually had 2 buybacks. On the supports only on Titan, whereas 2 cores did the same for Insidious Idol, but I think it's worth it if you're trading kills as well as buybacks and you get an Roshan on top of it. And of course, killing off Mushi was the biggest thing there, and they might even get the tier 1 now, so excellent raid for Insidious Idol, I want to say.
And I would completely agree, and now comes the push for that tier 1. With that tier 1 potentially falling, we're looking for more. But equally, back foot of this Titan, they want to engage. They get the blink in from Extinct, and they're going to catch the Burrow Strike onto Chagasaurus, but he gets healed up by that mech, and now comes the potential for turnaround. Definitely Blast to fly, but there is nothing else. The Exorcism is down as well. They can't really afford to fight into that. Bethel could go down to a Sunstrike if he's not careful. Burrow Strike aggressively, though. That's going to clean up Ysera, but he gets that Yules off last second. They lose the Razor, but he's got the Aegis. He's going to come back. Now we get a time lapse out by the Weaver, but in comes KS. Grabs Ohio, drags him back. They isolate the Nature's Prophet, and he will equally take a fall. Now WTF, he is the focus. If they can finish him off, that's going to be perfect. But another Burrow Strike delivered by Extinct. That's going to buy more time, but time isn't going to help them here. They're losing too many heroes. Titan lose 2 more. They lose the Weaver on top of that and the Sand King. Double kill for Z-Red. And from where we stand, that's a 4-for-1 trade and a tier 1 tower. A nice effort, but equally futile.
Man, I have to say though, Extinct, those Burrow Strike, he catches 2 heroes every single time. He even caught 3 in one of those. And of course, Z-Red, what clutch disruptions onto the Death Prophet, keeping him alive, and he actually didn't die throughout the entire fight. And one thing I completely forgot at the Roshan fight was that the Sand King actually wanted to come in with an epicenter, started channeling it here, but Batrider, I do believe the Firefly actually still damaged him, so he couldn't blink in. Epicenter was completely whiffed in the Roshan fight, so that was one huge part. If he had gotten it, it would have been like 3-man Burrow Strike with Epicenter.
Here we go again. Burrow Strike to go through, will break the TP of Bethel. This fight doesn't end, they're just going to brawl again. Ohio once more, but Plasma Field doing a good amount of damage. Poison Stack starting to add up, but Bethel gets blocked out by those creeps. All it'll take is one more Burrow Strike, but he gets the Invis Rune, doesn't manage to duke out of time, and Extinct will clean up the Nature's Prophet. And Shagasaurus is equally on the high ground there. They're not going to be able to catch him, but we are seeing a rotation in by Titan. They're going to push this middle lane. They're going to clean up the creep wave, and then they're going to damage this tower as much as humanly possible. But can they bring it down in time, I wonder?
Oh man, just look at the graphs after the last couple of fights. A 5k XP swing.
Extinct
Oh, but the
jumps
stun.
in. KS going to be the focus. Last disruption, last second though. That avoids the Mystic Flare as well as the Meteor combo with the Deafening Blast. That's a huge disruption. And Shagasaurus will survive this one. Holy hell, that disruption just saved everyone's life, effectively. Equally though, Mushi doing some good damage to the tower. This tower could still fall. KS, does he have a lasso? Yes, he does. So he could look for a fight off the back of this one. But KYXY still hammering into the tower, and this tower still may fall. Razor is back up in 3 seconds, but they need to defend this one, and they can't. They're going to have to defend at the high ground, but it seems the rest of Titan, they're going to just shift gears and look for a different objective. They're all going to fall back, reset, regenerate, and then do they go top? Look for this final tier 2. It's very heavily damaged. It's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, their pushing power is actually pretty damn strong, especially if Mushi at some point should pick up a Desolator. His farm has slowed down considerably after finishing up the Lincoln, since he actually died twice after it, but the Desolator with 4 Spirits, with 3 Ents, it's going to be a sick amount of push for them, to be honest. So if they win a fight, it's actually better for them, since they don't rely on ultimates to push afterwards, whereas in Insidious Idols, after the Death Prophet Exorcism, after a possibly Aghanim Scepter Eye of the Storm, they're probably going to need to use it in those fights as well, and thus, when the fight ends, so do the ultimates mostly, and the pushing power is actually greatly diminished.
I'd completely agree, but now we get a Blink Dagger up for Prophet, and Ohio likes to play this aggressive style of Prophet, so it doesn't surprise me that much. And we could be looking for another brawl, maybe the top lane, maybe the bottom lane. At least you've got split push coming out of Ohio and buying time. And I will freely admit, I did make a little bit of a miscall in the last team fight. We did see it's Shadow Poison, not Demonic Poison, and Shadow Poison, Demonic Purge. I get tongue-tied occasionally, but Mushi could be the focus here. Purge comes forward, but it's going to just pop the Lincolns, and Mushi should be safe. I say should be. It's going to keep scooching away, but in comes the drum. They maybe chase us a little bit more? No, I don't think they can afford to, but equally bottom lane, you hear the Batrider blink in. Doesn't find Ohio, though, and now Ohio's the aggressor. Uses the Sprout, but of course, Batrider don't care about no Sprout, and he's just going to TP out.
Wow, actually, the Burrow Strike onto Shagasaurus, Mystic Flare, Sunstrike. Poor Juggernaut, man. He's 0-5-5, really hasn't been able to come into his own. Although, even with that kind of low KDA, he still has face boots as well as drums.
Yeah, it helps him out, sure, and it adds a little bit of attack speed and damage to the Omni Slash, but not enough in my mind. And now we see more TPs in for this top lane. It seems like Titan have decided, yep, we want this tier 2, and that's going to be the next order of business. But if it's the next order of business, can they get any more than just that tier 2? I wonder. We'll quickly consult the graphs, shall we? Now I get a chance to breathe. 5,000 gold advantage in favor of Titan. Equally, it's neutral for experience once again.
Yeah, I mean,
I did not expect that.
They were staging a comeback of sorts, or actually getting a lead for XP, and oh, can they get Extinct? No, Extinct blinks out, Shagasaurus. Not gonna be fast enough, I think, at least. Yeah, they should be safe. So for the next, or for the last couple of fights, it's been a little bit of up, a little bit of down for both teams, as Mushi actually, do they even see him? I don't think so. They're chasing across the map. Can they find anything?
They might find KYXY on the Invoker, and they certainly will, but can he escape? I don't see it. He's going to get lassoed, and that's a dead Invoker. That's unfortunate. So that's 700 gold the way of the Death Prophet, I'll point out, but now we hear TPs going off, and Mushi continuing to just be a little bit of a pest, a little bit of a bug, and he's just going to farm up in the enemy jungle. There's very little they can do, and they TP to defend that bottom lane, and that's going to be safe now they've got the Batrider there. And they need to find some more objectives, though. If they can kill Mushi, or if they can kill even any other member of Titan, they can start looking to push these tier 2s. But they have to remember, the Sand King is a threat, and the Sand King can always be the aggressor, the initiator. It's effective. But now, oh, I say effective. Sand King the aggressor. I was casting a match and I didn't even see it, but now you get Shagasaurus looking for what damage he can. Can't do much. That's only a level 1 Omni Slash. Got the 3 jumps, got the spin, but it did not matter. Now we get the TP in from Ohio. Blink forward. Maybe are they going to look to the aggress Shagasaurus? That could be the order of business, especially now he's caught in a Sprout. But they need to kill that healing ward. Immediately killed out by Ohio, and the damage is just coming through. The lightning doing a fair amount, but not anywhere near enough to bring down Shagasaurus, unfortunately.
Yeah, and actually that Battle kill was absolutely huge because I do believe that's where the gem was, which is now in the position of Extinct Sand King. So not only did they kill the Bat Rider, they also get the gem for it. Of course, they did expend a Mystic Flare as well as an Epicenter for it, but it is definitely 100% worth it. And Mushi, he has himself a Demon Edge, so Monkey King bar or Daedalus straight out?
I'm saying Monkey King bar. Definitely a Monkey King bar. If that's anything but a Monkey King bar, I'll eat my non-existent hat.
Why must you say non-existent, man? Why?
Because it gets me out of everything.
Okay. Already has to eat his shoe because he said it, but
I'll never utter those words. I tell you what, if he builds anything other than an MKB, I will sacrifice Zion, one of my moderators, to you guys. How's that sound?
Well, that sounds like I don't care about it at all, man.
But from where we stand, we could see some aggression coming out. Bethel here, going to look to do some damage to Mushi, but he's just going to Saguchi out. He can't risk being caught. And of course, backlines, we do have Ysera. He could look to flank in here, and if we see a flank to aggress, that could work, but he's just going to TP out towards that mid lane. He's going to start pushing there instead.
And this he was sitting there for like 2 minutes almost. It's like, yeah, I just sit here, maybe somebody wants to battle me. Just mano a mano, exorcism, go.
Well, it's a case of aggression. It is a case of Black Bat Rider will just blink and a go. Ohio will be the target, and he will be cleaned up quite nicely by Z-Red and KS. That's a pretty big kill going the way of the Bat.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, funny enough, 2 games we've seen Bat Riders getting off to an extremely good start, getting a rather early blink dagger, yet the aggression has completely died out.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you there. I generally expected more aggression in these last 2 games where we've seen a blink dagger before the 10-minute mark for Bat Rider on both times. But, oh, hello, that was a big courier. That had 1,200 gold's worth of stuff on it. Where was that?
Oh, it was the Heart of the Rask recipe. It would have been the Heart of the Rask completely freezer.
That is a big, big courier kill going the way of Titan. And equally now, Ysera and the rest of Insidious Idols need to at least play relatively defensive for 3 minutes. If they can manage that, they should be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, thank God for them, to be honest, that Roshan respawn actually is the full 11 minutes at the moment. So Courier will almost respawn by the time Roshan is up as well. Titan can't really snatch it before that, I think, at the very least. If they can, though, it's going to be huge for Titan. At the same time, Insidious Idol, with the Exorcism, they do have just a sickly fast Roshan themselves. But if they use Exorcism for Rosh and Titan just choose to fight afterwards, what does Insidious Idol do?
I'm honestly not sure. I don't think they can, but they're going to go on to Mushi. He uses the time-lapse immediately, but in comes the Omni Slash, doing some good damage. Now they use the last two, and Mushi will take a fall, and it is an MKB coming up for Mushi, so Zion is safe in terms of being sacrificed, but equally on this bottom lane, we do have that big push coming in from the Nature's Prophet, looking to siege this with WTF and with Extinct, and if they can go for this, it will be golden, but it's a case of can they commit to this safely? I'm not sure they can. They'll be fighting into an Exorcism as well as into the damage of a Juggernaut as well as the Healing Ward. It really does add up. It seriously does add up.
Yeah, and actually that kill was huge in many reasons on Mushi. Just first of all, stopping him from farming, of course, but Shagasaurus, he will finally hit level 11 soon enough. He needs like one more creep wave. Even just a couple of creeps, that's it. That's all he needs. And, I mean, he has had that level 1 Omni Slash for way too long already.
I completely agree. Omni Slash is one of those skills you want to see it leveled up as quick as humanly possible. Juggernaut does phenomenal things with levels. You get more damage from Blade Flurry, you get crit, the Healing Ward gets scaled up, and more importantly, you get up to 12 jumps on that Omni Slash. 12 jumps really does a lot of work. That's, of course, when you count an Aghanims as well, but we're not seeing an Aghanim, so 9 at max. Still, it seriously does add up in terms of damage because of the ability to also auto-attack during the Omni Slash's swings. That's why increased attack speed is so powerful on a Juggernaut.
Oh, man. Titan, they actually have double Sheepstick coming in soon enough. KYX were only about 400 gold away from his, whereas Ohio needs a little bit more, about 900 gold, but double Hex. And are there any BKBs on Insidious Idols? No, there are not, and I guess Bethel is going for one, but he's going to be the only one to have it anytime soon.
I'll be completely honest with that one. I was expecting more BKBs out of Insidious Idol just for the sheer fact of the Invoker, and almost all of his damage is magical. You'd think Ysera would get a BKB or something along that line, but it just doesn't add up at this point.
And, well, the courier has respawned, so that's going to be the finished start of the rest now, finally, for this era. Actually has some nice additional gold on top of that. If he buys the Vitality booster, about 1.5k remaining. Unless he gets ganked now, of course.
I don't think he will. I mean, if they jump for this, it's going to be so close to the base. Can they really risk that? And we do see the courier coming forward now for Ysera. That does have that full heart on it, so that's at least going to help ward off death. But I'm still looking for a BKB, in all honesty. We could seriously use a BKB for Ysera. Equally, we could use a BKB on Bethel. I mean, he's starting to build one, but it might be a case that it comes up too late. And we've got to consider, Roshan is now available as well. With Roshan on the cards, this could be quite the aggressive play coming out. Both of these teams will want that Aegis, and whoever gets this Aegis is going to have the distinct advantage in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, but Ohio will actually finish up his sheepstick. Looks like he's going for the secret shop at the moment to pick up that exact same item. So they're going to have double sheepstick, level 2 epicenter. I mean, Roche fight, it can be a hell of a fight here.
I'd completely agree, but now we've got Scythe of Vice coming up. We've got one for the Nature's Prophet. Equally, if KYXY can finish his, which he did, it's a case of 2 hexes. What's better than 1, 2? Quite easy. It's a flat out, you can CC 2 targets now for 3 seconds in the next team fight. If they can lock down KS before he can, say, get a lasso, if they can lock down the Death Prophet before Exorcism, or maybe lock down the Razor, it's all over but for the crying. The next team fight will be a catastrophic clash.
Yeah, just look at the graphs as well. The gold graph steadily going in the favor of Titan, so it just means they're farming more efficiently at the moment. 10k gold lead for them. XP though, still just a little bit of up and down. Only 1000, well, even 800 XP lead for Titan, so level-wise, completely even across the board. But Titan, they're just getting more items and, well, at least Mushi hasn't, or actually, never mind. He has his Monkey King bar flying out.
Yeah, I checked the courier just now. With the MKB for Mushi, his damage is going to start to become phenomenally high. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me for him just to finish the treads up or go straight for a Desolator. Both of these are good options for Mushi on this Weaver. I mean, you've got to consider Weaver's sheer physical damage potential is absolutely staggering.
Oh man, in CSL, do they really want to go into Roche? It sure looks like it. Bethel actually has a level 3. Well, both of them have level 3 ultimates, Exorcism as well as Eye of the Storm if there's a fight. Aghanim Scepter to boost it up for Razor as well. And just look at Roshan melt.
That's the threat of the Death Prophet. Honestly, at this point if Ysera picks up that... Sorry, it's going to go into Razor. I actually expected Ysera to pick up the heart, but I suppose with already having a heart, he doesn't need the Aegis. Even I'll get my words right eventually, but it's got to be a BKB up for Bethel, and he's only a good 500 gold away from that. So once he gets that item, we could be looking for more of a push coming out of Insidious Idols. But still, you have the threat of Mushi, who's continued to split push throughout this entire game. He is one of the driving forces behind Titan at this point in the game. Sure, you've got Invoker and the Nature's Prophet with hexes, with some levels of control, but they can't farm as aggressively as, say, Mushi on his Weaver, considering Time-Lapse has the ability to escape. Sure, Nature's Prophet has the global TP effect, but he has been isolated whenever he's came forward alone. It's one of the threats that Ohio's had to deal with. Sure, he's only got 2 deaths, but those 2 deaths were when he was farming alone, isolated.
Well, at the moment, it's sickening how little action there is, to be honest. It's 13 to 13, 32 minutes in, man. Where is the 2 kills per minute? Where is it?
2 kills a minute, generally reserved for a little more aggression than this. So it's unfortunate. I really like those 2 kills a minute's game, but from where we stand, this is not a show of aggression. This is a show of technical Dota. It is the kind of Dota that you watch and you can learn a lot from in terms of what's going on the map, how the heroes are moving around, where they favor farming, when they're being aggressed or when they're aggressing. It's technical style, and it's one of the best things you can learn about Dota when you can start to see the technical style of Dota for what it's worth.
Well, at the moment, everybody's getting closer to their next set of items already, especially if Ysera actually does opt to go for a BKB in the end.
And Shagasaurus will be quite out of position though, eats the Meteor combo, and KYXY, probably the easiest kill of his life right there.
Well, and Shagasaurus, he was the scout, man, the scout.
Actually, Ohio, look at this. Look at that. KS just went straight to where Ohio TP'd in, and that's going to be a dead Nature's Prophet caught out once again. And Ysera was there as well. That's the threat of the Nature's Prophet. As I say, he comes forward to farm on his own, and he gets caught out of position. Sure, that was very lucky on the side of KS to be right in the neighborhood, but you get my point. my point still stands, and we could be looking right now, as we do have a gem present on Extinct, we could be looking for more aggression now from Titan. Specifically with the gem, they could look to push in this mid lane once they've got the Nature's Prophet alive. Equally, we could look for more aggression from Insidious Idol if they can target Mushi and kill the bug. I mean, no one likes bugs. I mean, I'm pretty sure we would all quite like to step on the Weaver and crush it like a cockroach most of the time when we're playing Dota, but Mushi has been a pain here for Insidious Idol this entire game. Killing Mushi would be absolutely ideal. It is, in my mind, the plan for Insidious Idol.
Well, if I met such a huge bug in real life, I would be just running for my own, to be honest. But, I mean, I have to agree, in Insidious Idol they are most likely like, goddamn Mushi. He's been split pushing the top lane for how long now?
Shagasaurus gets caught again. He eats a full Mystic Flare combo. Maybe overkill, but it does not matter to WTF. They're just assassinating Shagasaurus whenever he shows his face on lane, and that's incredibly unpleasant for the Juggernaut. And he's trying desperately to get an Aghanims, but he's still 2,500 gold away. He still doesn't have higher than level 11.
Oh man, this Shagasaurus definitely not a good game for the Juggernaut, at least not for the time being. It might turn into one, maybe, just maybe. I don't have high hopes, but got to keep optimism going. As you said, actually going for a sheep stick, it looks like, at least.
Going to go on Ohio, but he dodges the Burrow Stroke with that force stuff. It does not matter though, he's caught out of position, gets caught by the first Hex, he's trying to escape, does not matter. Deafening Blast comes through, can he escape? Actually, can he escape? Is that Arcane Bolt going to do enough damage? I should think it is, but he'll need to TP out. The Arcane Bolt doesn't do enough, but Ohio certainly does with that final right click.
Oh man, this was a huge pick. I mean, he has buyback, but Titan, they can definitely force it. They didn't use a single ultimate for it. I mean, Wrath of Nature, I guess, was used, but they don't really care too much about that, I believe. And just go with the Zoo, go pressure the towers, and can they force the buyback?
They need the buyback, and they can't fight without the Batrider, but the Batrider doesn't have a lasso at this point, not for 30 seconds, but Razor, wow, they actually managed to bring down Mushi in the top lane. A slight overextension there by Mushi, perhaps, letting Razor get the kill, but while this is all going on, the siege on the bottom lane is beginning, and already half health on the tower. That's a big threat. That is a really big threat. Titan are starting to come in with that Wrecking Ball and start smashing towers. If they can bring down this tier 3, in my mind, it might be over, considering that'll expose the racks, and the split push out of Ohio and the potential for a Nature's Prophet is fairly large, but now we have potential for a little bit of shenanigans. They're going to go onto Ysera. In comes the Deafening Blast combination, about 4-star forward. Yules to buy time. Epicenter comes down as well. It doesn't really connect with much damage, though. And now we get the Exorcism to pop. Do we have the turnaround? They're going to grab KYX one. WTF does fall as well, but in comes the Omni Slash. It is enough to clean that one up. Shagasaurus finally gets a kill with that Juggernaut. And we're looking for some more aggression off the back of this. That's a 3-for-0 exchange. Insidious Idols finding their opening and shunting a truck down it. This is exactly what they needed to do. If they can get this tier 2, that's even better. Buyback by KYXY. Is that enough? I don't think it is. Mushi, however, is alive in 5 seconds, and that will give them the damage they need in my mind. But still, while this is all going on, we have Ohio, the rat himself, looking to keep this lane pushed out, and he's just continuing to be a threat. He threatens the base. He keeps that nagging thought in the back of Insidious Idol's mind. It's that he is there for. Got to remember the Prophet at all times. You've got to consider always being a defensive team. When
Sunstrike onto KS top lane Ohio. He's not going to be able to follow up long enough. Firefly was activated, and now he's the one in trouble. He actually gets the blink before any damage. Actually, he's going for the turnaround. 2 more right clicks. He's going to get the flame break. Yes, he gets the kill, but he's going to get hexed up Shagasaurus. He has the Blade Fury. I think that's going to be the kill onto the Nature's Prophet, and a worthy trade for Insidious Idols for sure.
I think so. Certainly a worthy trade. They bring down Ohio once more. With him off the board for 60 seconds, sure, he has a buyback. This could be an opening here, but they need their Batrider. And this is a Batrider off the back of a buyback, so he does have that extended death time. But still, from where we sit, items are starting to come online once again. For Titan, this could be a potentially very late game, considering. For Titan, they now have that Desolator for Mushi. He's still running on brown boots, but he has a Desolator.
Yeah, man, you don't need boots on Weaver. Boots are for wussies.
I don't know so much about that. And we're looking for some form of push up on this top lane now. Mushi just rotating back to the lane that he's been split pushing this entire game. He likes that top lane for some reason. But now from where we're going to see action, we're potentially going to see a fight in the mid. You've got Extinct lurking nearby, has a smoke ready. Equally, though, backline to this, you've got WTF and KYXY. And these 3 heroes have been doing a staggeringly large amount of damage to Insidious Idols this entire game. Are they waiting for another opening? Are they hunting or killing? Or are we going to see potential wait? Roshan is available soon. Potentially. Could be in less than a minute, could be longer. We don't know at this point. But pings come out. They want to push in this this bottom lane. Equally, though, who do we have nearby? We got Batrider and Z-Red. KS are here, but it doesn't matter. In comes the blink over the top. They're going to be going at least for whatever they can find. WTF will be the focus here for KS. With that epicenter, though, it does not matter. Z-Red will just eat the meteor and fall. But equally, Bethel is doing some work, stealing a lot of damage from KYX. The plasma field is there. The damage is just too damn much. They'll lose the Invoker. But mid lane, while this is all going on, Mushi is just tearing the base apart as much as he can. They'll lose KS to the Weaver, and equally, Weaver continuing to split push away. He needs, however, to get this tower down. If he can get the tower, that'll be huge. Where is the defense, however? It does not matter. Equally, you got Ohio in the base. He's just shredding towers. They're going to go for the top set of melee racks, and if they can finish off that, it'll be perfect. But they force the Lincolns off the back of that with the Yule Scepter of Ysera. They were looking for maybe the Hex to follow that one up, but they couldn't manage it in time. And from where we sit, that's exposed racks at the top lane, almost exposed racks in the mid lane and the bottom lane. All these towers are heavily damaged, so we're looking for that potential of a nature's rat kind of play, especially with the Mushi backing it up in that bug that he is. But from where we sit, let's take a quick look at the graph, shall we? We're getting into that point where the graphs don't really matter much, but it's a 10,000 gold lead the way of Titan, and a 3,000 experience lead the way of Insidious Idols. Quite a staggering difference across these graphs. And in my mind, it's only a matter of time before we start to see that kind of tier 3, let's push your racks, let's push your base kind of mindset out of Titan. But can Insidious Idols hold? That is my question. They need the power of their entire lineup. They need the Omni Slash. It's now level 3. It can do more. They've got the lasso. They've got the exorcism ready to go. Can they repel Titan one more time?
They need to kill the split pushers. That's the biggest thing at the moment. We saw in the last fight, fight was rather even, although of course Titan, they were fighting 3 versus 5 more or less as it was. Batrider trying to do something about mid lane, but Batrider he got completely demolished. Mushi was like one Geminate attack, or well, one normal right click with the Geminate attack, one right click in between and then another Geminate attack, and that's Batrider down. Just so much damage with that Monkey King bar and Desolator. He's hitting for 300 plus. Plus, of course, you have to account the minus summoner, but they want to go for the gank. Can they catch Mushi somehow? I mean, catching that bug is going to be so difficult.
They need a gem if they really want to do that, and I'm not sure they have one available to them. They've got Dust, and that's it. He's just going to time-lapse that. They need a gem. They seriously do at this point. They need to stay on top of the Weaver, lock him down, and kill him outright.
Oh, well, that's indeed what they need to do. And actually, I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't purchased a new gem. I mean, they did lose their earlier one just almost immediately after having purchased it, when the Batrider went down to just a support duo.
Top lane. Mushi playing around with Shagsaurus. Shagsaurus came forward to try to farm, but now you got the threat of a Weaver. A couple of right clicks plus that negative armor. It's really adding up. Shagsaurus just taking a staggeringly large amount of damage. But he should be safe off the back of this one. Healing Ward's going to drop, and we're just going to see a reset here. Ysera going to come forward. They lock down Mushi with the Sheeps. This is what they need to do. They need to get a second Hex on him, though. The silence is there. He's not going to Suguchi away or time-lapse yet. And Mushi needs to escape in some way, shape, or form, or turn around. But equally, all of his damage is now gone. Mushi hits for effectively nothing, less than 100, and all it will take is 1 more, 2 more right clicks. Can they finish Mushi? No, they can't. They can't catch him in time, and the dust will fly. It's not on point, though. While this is all going on, you've got split push going on the bottom lane, however, from the rest of Titan, and this is the big threat. I was saying this in the draft. There is no way to lock this Weaver down in Insidious Idol's lineup. Sure, they can silence the Weaver. He's still going to run away. Sure, they can attempt to lock him down with hexes. It's not going to do enough. They needed stuns in their draft, and the only true stun they've got is that lasso.
Yeah, it's just evident at the moment that it's almost impossible to bring down Mushi. And actually, I mean, his health regeneration isn't all that great, but it's enough for him to just stay on the top lane, actually not even back off all the way home, and keep on ratting things out. But Roshan is up, Insidious Idol. I think by now they should be able to even potentially do it without Exorcism. And, well, if they get this, it can be huge. It's going to be Aegis as well as the cheese now.
Indeed it will be, and Roshan is going to be the linchpin here. It is the linchpin for both of these teams. Whichever team gets the Aegis will have a distinct advantage going into this. But of course, if Insidious Idols commit to Roshan, they could be dealing with a rat. Be it a Weaver, or be it a Nature's Prophet.
By the way, what? Batrider? He is going for a Shadow Blade.
Huh. Sneaky strategies coming out of KS. This could be quite an interesting pick. And do we have any detection on the side of Titan? I believe I saw a gem. Yes, we do. We've got a gem on Extinct. So a Shadow Blade really doesn't pan out that much in my mind. I mean,
oh man, and Mushi finishes up a BKB.
Yeah, Mushi's got the BKB. Equally, we did see a BKB finished for Ysera finally, so that's going to at least help out, but this Weaver is just, in my mind, too damn strong at this point. We're still on brown boots for the sake of being on brown boots, but with a BKB on Mushi, as well as time-lapse, as well as all of that physical damage, he's just going to go for the base. He can, he will. He's just going to destroy the Ranger Axe. He can destroy that in 5 or 6 attacks. That's the end of that. He gets Sheep, though. He could buy some time. Mushi might get caught out of position, will get lassoed. Can they bring him down in time? Yes, they damn well can. They protect their Ranger Axe with 63 health. But that committed 4 members, maybe 5 members of the team of Insidious Idols, and it's a case of Roshan is now on the cards for Titan. They're just going to come in, try to threaten Roshan. They're not going to be able to kill it in time, not without Mushi, but certainly it's making all of Insidious Idols jump around the map, thinking, okay, where are they? We have to do this, we have to do that. It's keeping Insidious Idols on their toes, and that is exactly the kind of thing that Titan wants.
Oh man, well, they will get Roshan now. Exorcism popped as well. It's going to be fast enough, even without C-Red being there. Actually, KYXY, Ghost Walk, Sentry down, so sure, he's going to make sure he actually doesn't get killed by KYXY solo. Rosh will be taken out, but who's going to pick up the Aegis? Who's going to pick up the cheese? Sunstrike to scout it out, a little bit too late. And actually, look at Bethel. He has an Oblivion Staff. He pretty much has enough gold for that refresher. And oh, last on to KYXY as well. It's going to be huge if they can actually follow up. Demonic Purge, Soul Catcher as well. They have vision of him. Will it be enough though? He's gonna get hexed up. No, yeah, he dies, man.
He can't escape the fire. He really cannot escape the fire, and you've got to remember the damage of a Shadow Demon is exponentially increasing just because of the Shadow Poison. It's one of the best things about it, and they're desperately holding that final Ranger Axe on that Ranger Axe on the top lane. And as we stand, we're just looking for that split push to continue out of Titan. In all honesty, they're happy to take this game as late as necessary.
Yeah. Oh man, this. I wouldn't be extremely surprised if this just went down to Rat Dota 100%, because Titan, they haven't shown a single sign of actually wanting to teamfight.
I would completely agree. They need to find a way to force a fight here. Insidious Idols at least need to. And unfortunately, we do have more items coming online for the Razor, and it's in the form of that, of course, Aghanim's Razor Refresher Orb combination. And well, you know my opinions on Razor.
Well, to be honest, I mean, it's pretty sick, since his BKB is only down to 9 seconds. He's only had to use it once, since there's no team fights. So, he's looking at 17 seconds of Magic Immunity with double Eye of the Storm.
I suppose you're right on that one, but Batrider does find... Wow, they find the Skywrath Mage of WTF.
But Bethel might go down. Mushi has a double damage rune. If they get the Hex on Bethel, more TP is coming. Oh yeah, he's getting Hex number 1. They need a little bit more. Ysera gonna come in, potentially help out. Mech is there, and can they turn it around? BKB on Bethel, it doesn't matter. Mushi's right damage is too much. Aegis pop together with the Eye of the Storm, number 1.
Yep, but now the BKB is being forced by Mushi, so that's going to remove that DD rune, and now comes in the Omni Slash, looking to do what they can, but they've run out of vision range. But now with that dust, and then Mushi could take a fall here, especially with Batrider coming forward as well. And Mushi was making a beeline for the Ranger Axe. If he could finish it off with one right click, that would have been at least a good investment of Mushi's life, but not going to find it. And that's a 2-for-nothing trade, considering that DD only forced an Aegis. Equally though, from where we sit, comfortable push coming in the mid lane here, potentially starting to build in favor of Insidious Idols, but we still have Nature's Wrath flying around. The damage coming out of this Nature's Prophet is by no means little. He's going to be going for that Daedalus now, and we all know the strength of a late game Nature's Prophet. It is a scary thing to fight up against, but we're finally seeing a death ball push come out of Insidious Idols while that Weaver is dead. Weaver doesn't have a buyback either. It's a huge thing to keep track of, and as we stand with so much net worth on Ysera, can they potentially get this tier 3 in the mid lane, I wonder?
No, I don't think so. They don't have Exorcism, as well as the lanes are pushing in. KYXY, they got the kill onto the Batrider in the meantime, who doesn't have buyback. And actually KYXY, they want to go for Bethel. Never mind, BKB's there, Static Link, Eye of the Storm. At least they baited that one out.
Well, they baited the BKB Eye of the Storm, yes, but there's still that Refresher Eye of the Storm potential as well, so that he can still fight in the next team fight. But while this is all going on, we do have a little bit of a siege going on these Medrax finally. The tower did take some damage, but I don't think they can finish it off. They're split across 3 fronts right now. They're having to defend the bot lane. They're having to defend the top lane from the Nature's Prophet as well. And they're trying to siege mid lane. They are committing so much across 3 different fronts. And they're going to find Shagasaurus. In comes the Hexhammer onto Extinct. But the Sunstrikes drops as well as the Mystic Flare. It's enough to clean up the Juggernaut before he is even a factor. But now we get the BKB onto Ysera. TP away. He's going to be safe. At least surely he is. He's going to get out fine. And it's a 2 for effectively a tier 2 trade, I want to say.
I mean, I don't even know. It was just so crazy. And even now, Shagasaurus, together with Viscera, actually, they wanted to turn around on the Sand King. There's no other reason why Shagasaurus actually blinked away and then started to come back. But look at C-Red. He might be in trouble. Blink on cooldown 2, 1. I think he's gonna be fine. He gets the blink out in time. Actually, look at the Observer Ward by them as well, on the hill here.
I like the Observer Ward. The Observer Ward's giving good vision across the board here. And equally, the one thing I'm slightly curious about is this ward down here.
Oh, Hayok, he got lasso. Can they actually bring him down? Manta style activated, but he's in the fire. He's gonna go down to the right clicks.
Being able to bring down the Nature's Prophet at this point is huge, and I'm having a look across so many fronts. I almost missed that kill, but they've got a very aggressive ward. Insidious Idols have right down at the mid lane. If you see, that's a very curious place for a ward, considering they are so heavily on the defensive in this game.
Oh man, this game is all sorts of crazy. Just look at the graphs. 10k gold lead, or at least near enough for Titan, but a 12,000 XP lead for Insidious Idol. That just goes to show that fighting-wise, Insidious Idol, they have been better for quite some time. But Titan, they are better in farming as well as split pushing, ratting things out. But KS, he is hunting for Mushi. Shagasaurus blinks in, Blade Fury. He's acting as bait, but Mushi, he's not gonna take it.
Well, you got to remember, the Juggernaut is actually starting to build some potential up here. He has an Aghanim's. He's starting to get some damage. I mean, the later this goes, the more Juggernaut gets back into this game. And sure, Juggernaut tends to fall off after the 30-minute mark, as I've said time and time again, but from where we sit, Shagasaurus is starting to fight his way back in, and if he can start getting some more items, if he can maybe get what would be good, MKB would be good, but they're going to go into Mushi anyway. They force the Omni Slash. Mushi's taking a good amount of damage, but they can't finish him off in time, I don't think. He needs the time lapse. Does he have it available? Not for 30 seconds. This could be huge. The Dust flies. They're going to bring down Mushi with that Hex, and he's going to take another fall. Ysera picks up the kill on a mega kill streak, and now comes the defense of this tier 3 on the bottom lane. All the TPs in the world coming for it, and if we can catch anyone in the lineup of Titan, this could be huge for Insidious Idols. But from this, I wonder, where is the push going to come from, finally, for Insidious? They bring down Mushi once again. Mushi still does not have a buyback. This is an opening here for Insidious. If they can make anything of it, though, is the question, considering they still need to keep in mind Ohio, who is continuously being a pest. He's got a Manta, he's got a Crystallis. We're looking for a Daedalus next, and he's got 5,000 gold. It seriously is starting to add up.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous of a game. Just, man, nature's rat. That's all I can say, man. Nature's rat.
Every now and then we get a heavy ratting game, a split push game, but from where we stand, it's an inevitability of our line of work. What can we say?
Actually, KYX right now, he went for a Lincoln Sphere just to not get hexed up himself, or actually, oh, Shagasaurus, he's gonna get hexed up. Chaos Meteor, Deafening Blast, Mystic Flare as well. And I mean, to be honest, Shagasaurus, he hasn't died, or hadn't died at least, for a really long time, so it was coming, man, it was coming.
Yeah, he has been the punching bag of KYXY in this game. The Chaos Meteors, the Deafening Blasts have really all added up, and now Bethel going to TP out, but he gets hexed last second! There's no escape right now, and now Ray's in a lot of trouble. In comes the Refresher. He refreshes to cast TP! Oh, hello! That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Wow, that was actually pretty brilliant. Yes, he's not going to have the Refresher for a long time, but I don't think PKBs would have been enough otherwise for him to just run away. But bottom lane, can he get the stuns? Extinct, he gets the Burrow Strike onto KS, and now suddenly look at the physical damage from Ohio, the crits! He gets demolished, Ysera, he's on the run as well. Can he actually succeed? He is pretty speedy, I got to hand it to him. PKB, does he really want to turn it around? No, the physical damage, you kidding me, cheese? It's not gonna help the TP. Is he gonna be there in time? Monkey King bar procs, man.
Not a chance at all. That sheer level of physical damage coming out of the Nature's Prophet as well as the Weaver is staggering. I mean, what in Divinity's Edge can they possibly do to defend against that? I cannot think of anything that can stop that sheer level of physical. Short of an Ethereal Blade, but even that would be a waste of time on this one. Now Z-Red is going to be in a lot of trouble. Does eat the damage out of KYXY. In comes that defensive disruption, and now Bethel in a lot of trouble equally. BKB's come up, Eye of the Storm to come down, but they lose the Shadow Demon, and they're not going to be able to get anything off the back of this one. Bethel going to be caught in the tree line, and Mushi comes in with that staggering level of damage. Mystic Flare drops as well. Kill going the way of WTF on that Skywrath Mage, and we get a buyback from the Razor, buyback from the Death Prophet. They need to hold this, they need to defend this, but can they manage it? This is a staggering level of damage. It's going to be an absolute catastrophe if they can stop this. But still, Titan will have an advantage. In comes Mushi. He doesn't care about the enemy heroes. He just wants that tower. They force the fortification. That's down for 5 minutes now. And from where we sit, This is still a staggering force to deal with. In comes KYXY, but he gets hexed up immediately. He doesn't want to get caught out of position, and KYXY could go down here. 4-staff though. Do we have a Ghost Walk Silence? He's going to hex Shagosaurus. He's turning around, maybe getting enough damage. Cold Snap, not going to drop it. They don't want to go drop the Chaos Meteor, but mid lane, Exorcism drop, forcing this one back, but they lost the melee racks, no, they lost the range racks, and on the bottom lane, the split push continues. They're just going to start waylaying on the melee racks, but in comes Ysera, looking to hold this as long as he can, but everyone is well enough away. They're all evacing. They do not want to be caught. Mass evacuation, and no, it's not an evacuation. Mushi's back in. Radiant Career goes down, but that does not matter. They lose their final racks on the top lane, and now Mushi going to have to run through the base. Can't escape this time, though. But Weaver goes down for what is a full set of racks top lane, a racks in the middle lane, and damage to the racks on the bottom lane. That is a staggeringly large three-sided fight.
It's just impossible to take it all in on the camera. Like, literally, they are fighting at all three lanes, or pushing at all three lanes, however you want to put it. And mid lane, Tornado, KYXY, he wants to go in. The Lincoln actually saves him from the demonic purge. He still gets hexed up, but 4 stabs help him out, and he should be fine.
He should be fine, yes, but equally, Boots of Traveler now coming up. Batrider is here as well. He does have that Shadow Blade now. Do we see the potential for a jump in? Where is KYXY? He's well enough and safe. Surely we're not going to see an aggressive blink this far into the enemy jungle. Not when they're losing racks left, right, and center, are we? We could potentially. KYXY still is easy pickings right here, especially when KS sees him. Blink forward, doesn't find him, however, 4-stop, still not found him. And KYXY is just continuing to run around like a madman. However, in comes the Nature's Prophet. He wants racks and he wants blood from them. He's going to start working, but in comes the Ice Wall. This is buying huge amounts of time, and they need TPs out. They need to defend, but it's too late. The melee racks goes down. Now they're looking for the range racks. Ohio just is doing work. Equally, Z-Red is going to go down. One more right click, and it's a crit on top of that. Shagosaurus is now the focus. He's going to Blade Flow, but this entire time, the Titan Force are just repelling. Who's running away here? Batrider, KS trying to escape. I'm not sure if he will be able to, and they do save at least their range racks, but it's only 1 range racks and 1 melee racks still standing for Insidious Idols. Titan forcing this fight across the entire map. What a dragged out engagement.
Oh man, all I have to say about this is Ohio, Craigasm, You know what he just did? He was going for the racks, he activated Manta Style, and he actually ran 1 Manta Style illusion, or started running it away just as TPs started coming in, but he himself with 1 illusion actually still remained for the racks, and C-Red, he went to chase that 1 illusion. So just epic bait out, and then suddenly from his pack, C-Red, he got hexed up and taken out by the right clicks.
Yeah, damn straight, and apparently I said Void. Did I say Void in that last team fight? According to chat I did, but I think I said...
No, I think they're just talking about a chatter there named Void.
Maybe, but from where we sit, it's going to be a case of Roshan, I want to say number 5?
Yeah, it might 4 or 5, either or. Not too sure how many cheeses we've had, but this is definitely going to be one. Aegis up on Mushi now. 5.2k gold KS, he's trying to get something, he's gonna get extinct, but will it actually be enough? Where's the damage fall of Shagosaurus? He's silent, hexed up as well. Mystic Flare on top of the red, deafening blast to ensure the kills. He does buy back to Ysera, he's hexed up as well. The physical damage of Ohio, he's just dishing out so damn much. KYXY helps out Ysera. He will take a fall. BKB still actually Yule Scepter up, and no, they actually get the counters at the moment. 3 for 1, or 3 for 2 as buyback.
The double Eye of the Storm from Bethel is just doing so much damage. He's chasing down KYXY. He's on target. Look how quickly the Invoker falls. Not a chance. Double kill for Bethel. But while this is going on, Mushi is doing work. And that is, nearly Mega Crypts. 1 rack still standing. And equally, Mushi with that BKB, he's got to be careful. In comes the potential to kill him, but they can't stay on target. They've lost another rack. They only have 1 still standing. And Mushi is continually just being a pest.
I'm not too sure. I mean, Insidious Idol, they need to go down mid lane, and Ysera actually purchases a refresher up just to have that second exorcism. And, well, buyback will be there on Nature's Prophet in 17th gold, so he's going to take it through. And Mushi, he's just going to go in the backdoor. But he does have a TP.
All of the team can nearly buy back. I will stress that. And here comes the backdoor potential from Mushi. If he can bring down this range, this melee Rax, it'll be huge. In comes the TP. That Rax will regenerate, of course, and now Mushi could be in some trouble. KS is going to force this one, but in the meantime, here comes the push. Bethel, Ysera, they want to bring this down. They force the fortification. The Invoker's still down for 30 seconds. They have buybacks, however, but in they come now. Buyback by the Invoker, but equally they force the Aegis onto Mushi. He's going to be stuck up on that high ground, however, and he doesn't have a TP. He has no way to escape this. This is huge. That is absolutely colossal. But in the meantime, in the main fight, Bethel going to be taking the full force of the Ancient Seal and the Mystic Flame, but he does not care. In come the BKBs. Ysera could be in a hell of a lot of trouble, and this entire time, KYXY, if he falls here, this is going to be colossal. And Mushi's still isolated and stuck. He needs the courier to throw him a TP, but there's nothing he can do. This could be Tier Force. This could even be game the way of Insidious Idols. This would be one hell of a turnaround, but in comes the Nature's Prophet. He delivers the TP. He's going to do what he can, but equally, Z-Red looks to do what he can. He can't stop it though. But back in the fight, Shagasaurus is eating the full combination from that Invoker once more. They lose the Juggernaut. He's down for 100 seconds. Doesn't have a buyback anymore. Equally though, buyback, TP by Ysera. They want to try to bring down what they can. They're going to go for Ohio. Ohio, if he falls, that'll be huge. He's down. He has a buyback though. He can buy back at any point. 100 seconds he's down for otherwise. And still, it's all over this one Rax.
Oh my god, this game. It was rather boring, I have to say, for a pretty long time, with just ratting going on, no team fights, but just the last like 5 minutes, non-stop action. Yes, some ratting has been going on, but dragging Weaver to the high ground, leaving him there after the Aegis popped, Nature's Prophet TPing in to give him a TP, but being there without one himself. Oh man, what a game this has been.
Indeed, this is going to be one for my memory, and it's still all down to this one Rax, and you've got the entire lineup near enough of Insidious Idols ready to fight. And part of me wonders, it's games like this where we sometimes utter the forbidden words, define rapier. Is it a possibility?
It definitely is. I mean, for Weaver, for example, you just get Rapier and kill everybody. You have 7k gold, man. You can purchase it right here, right now. Sell boots.
Mushi could. I will stress that. But equally, the flip side of this coin, Bethel, he could, but he's just bought himself a Reaver instead. No Divine Rapiers, no threat of it yet. But here we go. Extinct going to look for KS. In comes the Mystic Flare, and that's going to be more than enough. They commit the Epicenter as well, though. And it's a forced buyback immediately by the Batrider. I'm putting buyback status up for the rest of this game. It's too important to not keep track of. And sure, you've got the Nature's Prophet back up in 10 seconds. He did not need to buy back. That is a crucial thing. And, well, we've even got Roshan back up in potentially 4 minutes as well. We are looking for just some slip, some mistake from either of these teams. And Insidious Idols are doing their damnedest to hold this.
To be honest, they have a pretty high chance of winning if they can take a team fight with only one Eye of the Storm, as well as just take the Exorcism, then Boots of Travels into the enemy base. But of course, I say that, Boots of Travels into the enemy base, but all the lanes are actually pushing into their own. But they have the chance, because they will have double Exorcism, Eye of the Storm to help out, speed up the push. So if they win the fight and somehow make it so the Titan don't have buybacks, they have a chance. But getting there, it's going to take like 5 minutes to get there, to that point.
It is an incredibly uphill task. I'm not even going to contest that fact. You're 5 out of 6 racks
okay, yes,
down.
might get caught. Oh, actually, he's not targeting the right Batrider. There's the lasso coming out, but he's using it defensively more likely. But now Omni Slash comes through Ohio. He's rather tanky. KYXY, he joins the fight as well. Ohio finally goes down, but Chegosaurus hexed up. Eye of the Sky, the Mushi comes in. So it's going to be 2 for 1. And Batrider doesn't have buyback, neither does Chegosaurus, whereas Ohio does.
That's a huge thing. Now you've got Death Prophet and Razor to defend against the full force effectively should we see a buyback. And we equally have a Mask of Madness on the Batrider just for that extra movement speed. He's doing everything he can, and that Mask of Madness may have been the thing to get him killed in that little engagement, just for that 30% of extra damage taken. But here we go. They want that final Rax. That final Rax has been a blight on this game for the side of Titan. For the last 10 minutes, this Rax has just stood stoically, but it does not matter. It's a case of who's going to be the one to trigger this effectively catastrophe, this effective near enough apocalypse of this game. And Mushi going to, before it gets Lincoln's pop, be forced out a little bit. Radiant's courier goes down. That had 5,200 gold's worth of stuff on it. What was on that courier?
It was a Shiva's card, but what? Did it got delivered anyway?
They're going to throw some damage onto this, and they're just going to commit everything. Bethel taking a lot of damage. We get the BKB's forced to, and now, do we see the kill on KYXY? Mushi went down, but in comes the Nature's Prophet potentially. The Rax still stand, but in comes Z-Red, he will go down though to WTF and the Mystic Flare, but equally Mushi still trying to force the issue and cannot do so. He will go down again, and Ohio going to be now the focus. The double Eye of the Storm doing as much as humanly possible, but look how much damage comes out of Ysera. In comes KOXY, doing what they can, as well as the epicenter. The lineup of Insidious Idols is falling. Ysera can go down as well, potentially, but where is that Rax? Is that Rax finally down? It's gonna fall. That's Mega Creeps, the way of Titan, but can Titan do anything? This is Mega Creeps, but I'm still not calling this game over yet. In comes the Burrow Strike of Extinct, buying time. Ysera, however, will go and at least get stunned out, and Shagasaurus gets himself a double kill. The Juggernaut finally managing to get more kills, gets it on the 2 supports, and I'm wondering, is that enough? Is that honestly enough? You've got 100 seconds where the Nature's Prophet is dead. He can't buy it back. You've got 56 seconds where the Skywrath Mage is down, and the fight's still not over. Shagasaurus being the focus of KOXY on that Invoker, but in comes Bethel. They want to force this. They're going to have to go straight down the mid lane. In comes the Tornado. They destroyed the healing ward. That's a key thing by KOXY, but now Mushi back in the fight. Can potentially go either way at this point still. If we get a push down this mid lane. The racks are still being defended. The tier 4 is being defended by Ysera. Do we see a push down the middle lane? It's possible. This is more than likely going to be a death push. The last death throws of Insidious Idols, but death throws can still be lethal. This could be all or nothing here, and you can hold Mega Creeps without far into the game where Mega Creeps aren't a certainty. And in comes the EMP, the Tornado buying time. Chaos Meteor to drop as well. They try to bring down Shagasaurus. Bethel still standing strong as well. Does have the mechanism available, can heal himself up a little bit. But KS could go down to KOXY here. Do they have the detection? No. Forces the Shadow Blade immediately out of the Batrider. Wants to buy time, but where is the rest of the team? You've got the Shadow Demon as well as the Death Prophet looking to defend. Do we have travels? Yes, we do. So if it comes down to it, we could see that all in transition. Equally though, here comes the Hex. They're going to go straight onto Bethel, and if Bethel goes down here, that's going to be huge. But look how tanky he is. Would that be Camille? Extinct is trying to do what he can, but it does not matter. Where is the Eye of the Storm? We've got one available. We don't have another for 37 seconds. And equally, Batrider getting hexed up in this fight. Going to get thrown in the air as I lose control. Equally, there goes Bethel. He will go down finally to this level of damage, and Shagasaurus will be the next target, but buyback by the Juggernaut. He wants back in. We don't have a buyback available for that Razor, however. He's got 1,500 gold. He's too far away. How far off is he? He's 500 gold away, and now comes the smoke. They're barreling down that mid lane. They want to end this game, but equally, you've still got Ysera valiantly holding this one. He has an exorcism if they really want to try to hold this, and KS is there as well. Has that last one, but in comes the Hex. He wants to hold this. In comes the damage, though. Mystic Flare is more than enough, and Extinct trying to hold, but there is just so much physical damage being thrown into the Death Prophet. He cannot hold, and GG is finally called. Titan will take the game.
Oh man, so at the moment, we are looking actually at the tiebreaker between the two teams. So yeah, we have one more game. I'm not too sure if both teams can actually play it. Yeah, Bethel's like, shut up, no more, not today.
They have a tiebreaker to fight between Insidious Idols and Titan. I think it's going to happen tomorrow. To which, if it is, I'm gonna be here to cast that one.
Yeah, man, just what a great game this was. Lots of farming, lots of split pushing, no, not much team fights, but the last 10-15 minutes more than made up for it.
Indeed, what a colossal turnaround. And I gotta say, that was a game that I am going to remember for a long time. We saw so many shenanigans. Mushi getting stranded on the high ground, having to be delivered a TP, pushes back and forth across the board, holding against Mega Creeps for some time. It was just chaos. And I think, where are we going to see this? I think this is going to be going ahead tomorrow with game number 3. Sorry, wow, so many games.
Yeah, it most likely will, man. If anything changes, we'll still have the stream running for a couple of minutes anyway, so we'll keep you updated if there's something more to come, but it's most likely going to be tomorrow.
Indeed. So on that note, thank you for joining us here on HeflaTV, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, I can look forward to the next game. Any last words, Couch?
No, guys, just thanks for tuning in by me as well as supporting Mineski Pro Gaming League. And if you like this, you can always follow us. You can find all the necessary links below the stream for our social media, for the other HeflaTV channels, where we're casting on all of them pretty much, or at least the English ones for Dota. But yeah, guys, just appreciate it and hope to see you again tomorrow for the tiebreaker.
Damn straight. So peace out from me. You can find me at Mr_Blackadder pretty much everywhere, Twitch and Twitter. You can find him at Couchor, and ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time.